Hey everyone, this is Tom Kraz and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with my series on learning common capture the flag Linux exploits using DVWA. In this episode we're going to take a look at command injection. So the first thing we need to do is to log into DVWA. The username is admin and the password is password. They're the defaults. If you followed my build from earlier, you hop into the before we hop into command injection, let's check the security level. Security is high. Let's set it to low. Submit. Okay, so let's back into command injection. Ping a device. Enter an IP address to ping a device. Let's try 1.1.1.1. Okay, so it sent ping out to 1.1.1, sent 4 packets, 4 transmitted, 4 received. Okay, very clear. Let's take a look at the source code of the PHP script that actually runs it. You can see here that the target is assigned to an IP, and if it's Windows, it runs ping target, and if it's non-Windows, it runs ping minus C4. So C is actually the number of packets it sends. On Linux, if you type ping and an IP address, it just never stops. So you need to do the minus C4 for it to stop. Okay, so no input validation there, fairly straightforward stuff. Before we attempt to do any command injection, let's just quickly go through how it can be done. When you type a command in the command line, the output is below, but Linux offers a lot of flexibility, and one of the things is you can actually delimit commands by a semicolon, and it will actually run the 2 commands on the same line. So you see here we've got the ID command there and the who am I command there. There's a few different ways of doing this as well. You can do ID and then double ampersand, which is a logical and. It also does the same thing. It runs the 2 commands. What does this mean? What is a logical and? It means that if the first command is successful, then it will run the second command. So if the first command is just a makey up command, not real, then neither of them works, because the first one fails, the second one doesn't work. But there is a logical OR operator, which means if the first command fails, then run the second one. Or if the first command works, don't run the second one. Let's give it a go. So we know the first one fails. And here we go. First one not found, but yet it continues on to do the second one. And the last one I will take a look at here is a pipe. So you can do ID and pipe it into who am I? Tom Kraz. So it doesn't print the output of the first command. It sends the output of the first command into the second command. And if the second command doesn't have anything to do with it, then it never displays it. But this also works with an error. So if I do a makey up command, it'll also error out on the first one and show the second one. Okay, let's go back to our command injection. So this is the first one. Let's try 1 and then type just ID. It goes and pings, and here we go. We've got the ID. So we can pretty much run most anything that this user can run. So this user is called www.id. So anything this user can run, I can run it. Okay, so that's the low security level. Let's have we bump it up a bit to the medium security level. Back into command injection. Let's take a look at the code again, see what we've got here. So this time we've got a bit of a different code. We've got some substitutions. So it's the same up here. It's target equals request IP address. It's the same down here. If it's Windows, do this. If it's Linux, do this. And the substitution is new. So basically it's looking for double ampersand, logical and, or a semicolon. And if it finds them, it replaces them with blank. So neither of these will work. So we've got to think of something else. And if you remember my explanation earlier on, we can do a logical OR. So if we can cause the ping command to fail by not putting in a valid IP address, for example, and then do a logical OR ID, bingo, this works. Okay, that was straightforward. Let's take a look at the last one. Well, the last one for us, because the impossible one just is impossible. Okay, set to high. Let's go back to command injection. Let's take a look at the code. Right, so there's a few changes here. We've got a trim, and we've got more substitutions. Okay, so the trim really limits us. The trim prevents us from running anything on your IP. So we can only put in one option, no spaces. And if those options contain any of the following, then it's substituted for, it's deleted. It's not even substituted for space, it's just deleted. Now, there's the replace substitution function, and we've got the same thing down here with the ping. If it's Windows, do this. If it's Linux, do this. So how do we get around this? This one isn't too bad, actually, because there's a human error here. And this is stuff that we've got to look out for as well. Sometimes it's not just a security vulnerability. A lot of the times it's a human error or a deliberate error in case of CTFs. And we can see here that the error is the space just after the pipe. So this only substitute pipes if there's a space after it. So if we go back to our code, and you remember I displayed this one here, that if you do a pipe, if the first command fails and you do pipe, the second part will still work. So if we do a pipe, because it'll only substitute pipes with spaces, if we do a pipe and an ID command, then it works. So I hope you guys found that interesting. Please like and subscribe if you did. Please leave some comments. You can find some more information this over my blog. Links are in the description below. My name is Tom McGrath. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all later in my next video. Take it easy. Bye bye.